everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee Talk Tuesday. Everyone's favorite day of the week. I know. So today we are going to be talking about Instagram stories and 4 different ways that you can optimize those stories. So you guys know the deal. When you get here, make sure that you say hello. Tell me how your Monday was, how your week's going so far. If you did anything fun over the weekend, or just say hi. Today we're going to talk about optimizing Instagram stories. We've talked about stories quite a bit. Hi, Easton Women's Network. Thanks for joining. We've talked about stories quite a bit over the last, I would say, probably year, because they really have been on the rise in popularity, and there has been a push towards stories. So we're going to talk about stories and 4 different ways that you can optimize that. So let's hop right into it because I'm super busy. So step 1, you're going to pick a style for your content. And this may seem like a funny point to bring up because it may seem like a no-brainer, but I don't think that people understand that consistency is key when it comes to, font colors or color schemes in general, different styles of font, filters. Is it going to be a light and fluffy personality that you're going to give to your brand, or is it going to be something that's a little bit more serious? The Instagram expert always uses like pinks and yellows and purples, and that's kind of her thing, to use those bright colors. So you want to pick a style for your content, and you're going to use that throughout everything, and you want to make sure it's obviously on brand. If I was, let's say, for instance, a flower shop, I would probably use a lot of greens with a little pop of, pinks, yellows, whites, just things that you would see around the store. So think of that when you're planning out your IG stories, which brings me to number 2, is planning it out. So when you want to think about your Instagram stories, you want to think, what is your goal of these stories? Are you trying to get engagement? Are you trying to have conversion? Are you trying to get followers? Is it just strictly for brand awareness? So what is your point of these stories? So that's the very first thing to keep in mind. Next is going to be, how often are you going to post? Now keep in mind that posts can be scheduled on certain third-party platforms, but you can't schedule them on Instagram, mainly because the stories are supposed to be organic in nature. There's still that kind of idea behind it, but you can use things like Planoly, which you can pay for, and schedule your stories on that. So the Instagram story is actually kind of meant to be done in a story-like fashion, hence stories. So having one image right after another, that kind of engages your customer along the way. The ideal amount of posts are 3 to 7. 3 would, obviously give you enough time to have that storyline set. But anything over 7, you're going to start to lose people's interest. And I'm sure everyone out there can relate to the time that their friend went to a concert and you click on their story and all of a sudden there's all these little dashes at the top and you're like, yeah, I'm not watching this. So 3 to 7 is really your optimal for stories. And if you think about it, depending on if you're using photos or video, 7 stories can be anywhere from 30, 35 seconds, all the way up to 2 minutes. So the longer your story goes, even if you're staying between that 3 to 7 post, idle nature, I guess we can call it, you're still going to potentially wean people away and lose their attention if you're pushing more towards that 2-minute mark. So definitely try to stay underneath 2 minutes. If it's a tutorial or something, I do understand that you could probably push a little bit more towards the 2-minute mark, but try to keep it, short and sweet, and in that consecutive nature between 3 to 6. You also want to make sure that you're using a call to action throughout when you're planning. And you don't want to put it at the end, because not necessarily will everyone watch your story until the end. So you want to make sure that you're sticking it kind of like somewhere in the middle of your story. So when you're planning it out, take note of where you're going to put that call to action, which you would have determined what your goal is, would change what your call to action is. So don't wait till the end for that call to action, and make sure that you're not just doing the same thing over and over and over again. If you're continually just trying to sell to your client base, it's going to turn them off. Think about if someone just came to your door and just knocked on your door and was like, hey, you want to purchase this? You say, no, thank you. Send them away. And he comes back the next day, hey, you want to purchase this? So switch it up. Don't just full on go for the sale. So do things, like I said, you could do a tutorial behind the scenes. I always like to joke around that Michelle likes to do that with me. Bloopers, funny videos, anything that's entertaining to people. You can ask questions. You could do a Q&A on your stories, or just use it to show the personality of your brand or your business. So those are a couple different topics that you can do that switches it up from time to time, so you're not doing the same thing over and over and over again. Coffee. And know when you're going to be posting. And I'm going to touch base on this in a little bit. But make sure that you have the manpower to do it. Like I said, if you don't have one of those scheduling platforms, you're going to need to put the post up yourself or have somebody else do it. So make sure that you know what times you're going to be posting it and that you are going to be able to do it then. So number 3 is then you have to create the content. So stories are a ratio of 9 to 16. They're vertical. If you're using the pixels, it's 18 by 80, or 1880 by 1920. That's what it is. So you can use things like the Instagram app and make the story right there and save it for a later date to repost. Or you can use Canva, which is free. Also, you can get the paid version. But Canva does have the option for those dimensions. So you can use that platform in order to create some really nice, attractive looking content. You can also, if you want to make a video, there's wave.video is a free platform that also has those dimensions that you can use to create a video to post on your IG story. So when you're creating that content, you have to remember that the whole point of stories is to be engaging. And that's really what's going to peak up on this algorithm, is when you have people engage with your stories, whether it's the tap forward or anything that you put within your story that causes people to engage, or maybe they just type out a message or a comment. So you want to make sure that they're engaging, and you can use stuff like stickers for that. There's the engagement style stickers, like questions, polls, the little slider love thing, which I love, and things like that. You have the Q&A. So you can use those to incite some engagement. They also have the music feature, which is super fun. And you can add songs to your stories, which make them just a little bit more entertaining. They now have that cool little lyric feature to it. So it just adds a little something extra to your stories. Hey, Graham, good morning. Thanks for joining us. And you also want to remember that stories go fairly quickly. So you don't want to overcomplicate your story. You don't want to put a whole bunch of things on there, because people aren't going to have enough time to read through everything. And also, you want to make it clean. You want to make it aesthetically pleasing. So this way someone is continually engaged and wants to watch your story progress and see how it ends up. So don't make them complicated, but do make them fun. And finally, number 4 is to optimize your reach, which I said that we were going to touch base on before, with knowing when you're posting. And would it be a Coffee Talk Tuesday if I didn't bring up analytics? I think not. So make sure that you are checking out those insights to find when your present audience is online. And like I said, making sure that that fits in with your schedule. And if you can't post, then having either someone else delegated to post at that time, or using one of those third-party scheduling platforms to make sure that your post goes out. So make sure you're checking out those insights so you get the most amount of potential engagement or reach with that. Also engage back with your people. If you have the Q&A option up, make sure that you're reposting those questions and that you're answering them, which will keep people intrigued, that you put up the results if you do a poll, anything along those lines. If someone has comments or DMs, that you are engaging back with them. You know, we're all about engagement and analytics here. So make sure that you're engaging back with people, because that will make them feel good and make them want to engage with you more. Will show other people that you engage, which will make them want to engage with you as well. You can also use location tags within your stories. Now, the thing with location tags is you actually want to go more hyper-targeted than broader. So you have more of a chance of being seen within a search or being connected with someone in your surrounding area if you use a specific location. So if I were to check in on my stories to Stark Media Group, that's actually going to give me better results than if I just check into Riverhead in general. So try to get hyper targeted with those options. And Instagram, because of the geotags, knows what's around you. So you're actually more likely to be seen by those surrounding locations than if you just give yourself a broad area. So get hyper targeted with those location tags. Also, you can add in hashtags. We all know hashtags are searchable words, phrases. So that will link up to whatever it is that is the content of your story. You can only do one hashtag per the sticker, but you can add hashtags via text box. Now, Instagram will only count your first 3 hashtags that are from the text box, and only if they are unhidden. So I know some people kind of try to layer them on top of each other, put them in the corner, maybe make them blend in. That actually will not register via Facebook's algorithm. It wants to see those hashtags when it scans your stories. So make sure that you're using that sticker hashtag, and then you're using up to 3 hashtags within the text box option. And it doesn't have to be the same hashtag through the progression of your story. You can switch it up per frame. So 3 hashtags per the text box, and make sure that they are visible. So this way, when Instagram scans them, scans your story, it is able to register those hashtags. And unlike excuse me, unlike geotags, you actually want to go broader with your hashtag. So like I brought up the, excuse me. Okay, and we're back. So I brought up a flower shop before. You know, if you're going to do hashtag, I would do hashtag flowers over hashtag do it yourself garden ideas or something like that. So with hashtags, you want to go broad. So this way you'll appeal to more people. So location tags, small. Hashtags, broad. There we go. Got it. And then finally, tagging people in your stories, because that broadens the likelihood that you will have your story reposted, and you will get more engagement and or followers or brand awareness and reach that way. All right, so 4 things to keep in mind to optimize your stories. First, pick a style for your content. Make sure that it is on brand with your color schemes, your fonts, and the personality you want your brand to have. Plan it out. Make sure that you know when you're going to be posting and what you're going to be posting, and that you are throwing that call to action in the middle somewhere. So you're not just kind of going with it. 3, you're then going to create your content within the dimensions of the stories to make sure that it fits. And you can use any of the free services or do it right on Instagram. And finally, make sure that you're optimizing your reach with making sure to know when to post and that you're making your posts engaging using stickers, songs, location tags, hashtags, and tagging other people to get the reshare. All right, guys, as always, thanks for tuning in to Coffee Talk Tuesday. We'd love to hear your feedback, or if there's anything that you guys would like to know about or would like me to do a Coffee Talk Tuesday on, please feel free to reach out or just stop by and say hi. Also, if you are in Riverhead, check out on the Sidebar office at 15 West 2nd Street in Riverhead. We have this really beautiful mural, and seeing how we're now going into fall, I think that it would be awesome for you guys to check out. And you can stand in the little circle that says stop and breathe and take a photo. It's a lovely little Instagrammable pic. And we would love to see them. So make sure that you guys tag us and our location in it. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. And I hope you all have a lovely week. Take care.